Can I talk to you? We're live. Would love to chat with you. So, I see the sign, Stop Trump's Coup. Another woman just said they're only here because they're following their fascist leader. Why do you think they're out here?
Well, I don't know why they're here. I am here because the election is being stolen by the Trump-Pence regime. They've been stealing it for months. This is just another stage of them stealing it and setting the table for a third stage of theft when they take it into the court and hope that the Trump judges will legitimize that theft, because they have been making it as hard as they can for people to vote, not casting doubt on mail-in voting in the midst of a global pandemic where people need to be able to vote safely. They've been trying to get votes not counted, thrown out. The state of Florida re-disenfranchised former felons who had gotten the right to vote in a ballot initiative. They were told they had to pay their fines and fees before they could vote. They raised the money to pay the fines and fees, and then Florida said, well, you can't pay your fines and fees because we don't know how much you owe. And then they went into court with the argument that was essentially the incompetence of the state of Florida means that these former felons will not get their right to vote. Hundreds of thousands of people who should have been allowed to vote were not allowed to vote. And frankly, let's just be clear. Trump, Pence, Barr, and the rest of them calculated these former felons are not likely to be mostly Donald Trump supporters, so they don't get to vote.
Are you concerned that at the last minute here, before the state could be announced for Biden, that the Supreme Court might interject and say the ballots need to be stopped until we review it or something like that?
I think that is a very big possibility. That's why I'm in the street. I'm a part of refusefascism.org and why we've called people into the street, because we think that people needed to vote like their lives depended on it, because their lives did depend on it. But even if the vote total indicates that Trump lost and Biden won, we don't expect the Trump-Pence regime to accept that, to go into court, shopping for courts that will stop balloting in Pennsylvania, stop counting of votes in Pennsylvania, continue counting votes in Nevada and Arizona, because that's the way it needs to go for Trump to win. We are concerned that that might happen. That's why we say we have to be in the street, because that's where we really see our power. I mean, even the right to vote, in my lifetime, when I was young, black people didn't have it. It was not given to black people by the government. It was the product of a movement among black people that many other people came to support. We have to do the same thing around this.
And what does it say to you as a black man that not only in Florida, the people decided to restore those voting rights for former felons, and the Republican legislature basically, overruled it, but even here, that the incumbent president is essentially trying to toss the votes of mostly black people in Philadelphia. What does that say to you?
Well, it says to me, and look, I've been watching this for a while. The Republican Party has taken up the mantle of the old Dixiecrats, the Southern Democrats who enforced segregation, denied the right to vote, and enforced lynch mob terror. Well, the Republican Party has taken that up. They have been trying to limit access to the right to vote in ways that target black people in particular, and they've been doing this for decades. What Donald Trump has done is taken that even higher. He didn't start that, he just took it farther. And it tells you something if their approach to how we're going to win an election is to stop people from being able to vote. And it tells you even more if that's targeted at black people, at indigenous people, and at Latinos. It tells you what this regime, how they look at you, what they think. And I say that to people, you know, because I had some interviews around the Ice Cube, 50 Cent, the rappers who were opening up to Trump. And I said, you guys are wrong twice. You're wrong because you're saying what's in it for black people, and Trump is putting immigrants in cages, banning Muslims, attacking rights of LGBTQ people and women. You don't want to say, give us something and that's okay. But then the other thing is, ain't gonna be nothing good in dealing with Trump for black people, because the man has shown you his racism again and again and again. And somebody shows you that much racism, believe it. He's a racist.
One more question. Assuming Biden wins, because it looks like he's about to win, I mean, I'm just going to be honest, he doesn't have a great record in criminal justice,
I know that.
in terms of civil rights.
I campaigned against the war on drugs
Right.
back in the 80s and 90s, so I know where Biden stood and what he did on that. I helped to form the Stop Mass Incarceration Network, and I was working against the handiwork of Joe Biden, but actually not just Joe Biden, because a lot of black elected officials also supported the war on drugs.
CDC.
Yeah, I opposed all of them, and I don't expect Biden to change his spot and suddenly become a friend of black people. First off, we need to stop Trump, because fascism is a horrible thing and you don't want to let it go down. Secondly, we still got to fight this system. And on that level, it doesn't matter if Biden wins or not. He's still the same. He's still operating the same system that has made black people suffer for years. I mean, even with Barack Obama, the police did not stop killing black people. They did not start looking into why are so many black people in jail and start reversing that. It's a question that we got to struggle against this system no matter who's there. It's just better conditions to resist if it's not somebody like Donald Trump and Bill Barr closing in on the space to resist this system.
What's your name?
Carl Dix.
Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.